If I'm being completely honest, consumption is one of the most detrimental things to an artist. And what makes it even dangerous is that you're trying to be oblivious to something that you know that is impacting your life. And we think and we make excuses that we're just resting, we're just scrolling, or just taking a break, but it's deeper than that. And for today's piece, I painted a blue whale, the largest animal on this planet. Now, here's what's interesting. A blue whale consumes tons of food every single day, but everything it consumes serves a purpose. It fuels it, it sustains it, it gives it the energy to keep moving, and nothing is wasted. Now, look at us, because we're consuming too, constantly. But the difference is what we're consuming isn't always sustaining us. When I say consumption, I don't mean just food. I'm talking about everything we take in. Social media, substance abuse, fear, negative thoughts, jealousy, lust, anger, grudges, all of the things we keep feeding ourselves until eventually they start feeding on us. And if I'm being honest with you, the biggest one I'm currently struggling with is social media, because it always starts off innocent. Oh, I'm just looking for inspiration. That's why I'm scrolling. I'm just trying to get some ideas. I'm just learning. It sounds positive, right? But when you blink and you're 30 minutes in, an hour in, 2 hours in, let's be honest, 5 hours in, scrolling, watching, consuming, that's why I decided to paint this well. Because instead of krill, it's consuming social media. Because that's what it feels like. Just constantly taking in and taking in and taking in and taking in with no release. And this is the part that really gets you. It feels productive. Your mind is moving, your thoughts, you're getting them. And you're getting what you deem to be ideas. You feel stimulated, but the outcome? Nothing. Because what usually happens when you consume data, you can easily start comparing yourself to that creator. You can easily start doubting yourself. You can easily start shrinking your ideas. And now the very thing that you went to for inspiration just talked you out of creating anything at all. And that's how you know you've been over-consuming. It only feels good when you're in it. You have to be consistent with this. It has to be continual consumption. But the moment that you stop, you feel it. The condemnation, the guilt, the heaviness, that thought in your head like, dang, I should have been creating, because what you're doing is you're watching other people create and you're not doing anything. Because, yes, consumption is going to give you something no matter what. That's why it's addictive. That's why you find yourself going back to it. Because it gives you the stimulation. It gives you the temporary relief. It gives you the dopamine hit. But the return is always going to be low. And to be specific, the return on investment is always going to be 1. And for example, you can consume a creator's content, get an idea for a video, and next thing you know, you make a video. Let's just say, like I said, the return on investment is 1. So for everything that you consume, you gain one thing. One thing. And the crazy part is that you take in so much and produce barely anything or nothing. And over time, it starts to show up in your daily life. You start to feel stuck. You feel drained. You feel uninspired, even though you've seen literally everything in the book. Your ideas, for some reason, feel scarce. Even though your mind is so full, you isolate. You compare more than you create. And it leaves you in a cycle of self-sabotage. And let's be real for a second. If you're deep in this cycle of over-consuming, I can almost guarantee you something. You're struggling financially. Like, literally no money in the bank. Struggling. No real income is coming in from your creativity. No consistency, no overflow that you heard so much about, that you prayed about. And I'm not just saying this to shame you, because listen, I get you. I'm saying that because I know it's the truth. You got to be struggling, aren't you? Come on, let's be honest. Listen, consumption does not pay you. It doesn't build anything. It doesn't multiply anything. And it doesn't return anything. It just takes and takes and takes until there's nothing left to give. But creation pays you. Creation builds something. Creation creates opportunity. Creation brings in income, exposure, growth. Creation is what actually changes your life. So if you're sitting there wondering, why am I stuck? Why am I not making money from my art? Why is nothing moving? Be honest with yourself. How much are you consuming on a daily basis versus how much are you creating? Because there's a balance. And I'm not saying this to condemn you whatsoever. I'm letting you know as much as you consume is as much as you should be creating. Period. And let me take this a step deeper, because this isn't just about social media. I'm just giving you an example. That's what I'm painting right now. This is about your consumption as a whole. This is about your flesh. Huh? Because right now it might just be scrolling for you, for me. It feels small. It feels harmless. But if you don't get your consumption in check, it doesn't just stay there. And next thing you know, it turns into over-consuming food. It turns into lust. Yeah. That situationship you worked so hard to walk away from now is in your DMs and you're responding? It's back in your life? It turns into anger, jealousy, grudges you thought you let go of. Your priorities start to get misplaced. You're procrastinating. You're not getting the things that you know needs to be done. And then it becomes alcohol. Where is the marijuana? You're rolling up. You're blazing. And I'm mentioning substances that you have already overcame. And it doesn't happen all at once. No, my friend. It's subtle. It creeps in little by little until one day you look at yourself and you think, this doesn't even feel like me anymore. That's what consumption does. It doesn't distract you. It slowly changes you. And I'm going to be real with you. Consumption leads to death. And not always physically, okay? Metaphorically. But if we were going to put into metaphorical terms, mentally, spiritually, creatively, it kills your discipline, it kills your focus, it kills your clarity, and it kills your ability to create. And as an artist, that is everything. Because if your creativity dies, if your ability to execute on your ideas dies, then what are you left with? Just consuming, just watching, just existing and rotting away in your bed. and you're questioning why, when you first wake up, you rather just go back to sleep. Because you're never going to be producing anything that is inside of you if you're stuck in the cycle of consumption. So if you have been feeling unhappy as an artist, if you have been feeling stuck, uninspired, disconnected, I'm going to say it plain. You, my friend, have been over consuming. And listen, I'm not above this. I have already mentioned I am there with you too. Scrolling, thinking I'm working, but actually producing nothing. And here's what this well made me realize. You're not empty. That's the facade. Because it may feel like you're empty because there's really nothing producing. On the contrary, you're actually full of ideas, full of inspiration, full of everything you've been taking in, but nothing is coming out. And why is that? You are constipated. Yeah, I said it, creatively constipated. And the only way to fix that is to release. And I'm not going to go deep into the solution today because I want you to really sit with this. I want you to really look at your habits. Look at where your time is going. Look at what you're feeding yourself daily. Because consumption is easy. It requires nothing from you. But the life you say you want, the art you say you want to create, that's going to require something. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to be honest with yourself. Where are you over consuming right now? Call it out. Be bold. Be courageous. Put that thing on blast. And if you're ready, drop it in the comments. Because one thing I've realized is that it is essential that every day we, number one, repent, forgive ourselves, stop holding on the heavy burden. Okay? Because consumption is a way of life, yes, but we get to delegate how much we consume and how much we create, and it is up to you. So first and foremost, forgive yourself every day and start creating. And most importantly, meet me here tomorrow for day 11 because I'm going to break down exactly why the answer is to create. All right? Okay. Bye.